Oh! Приветствую! Hello, my guys! Привет! I'm glad to see all of you here today for our great webinar that we're gonna be discussing the 3 top talent visas to the US. I promise we're gonna spend a lot of good quality time together. I'm gonna give you all the information that you guys wanna see, that you wanna hear, and that you wanna understand. So get ready, 1 hour and a half of a lot of good stuff going on only today. All right, so guys, I've been waiting for this webinar. I've been preparing for it. I got you a really good presentation. It's about 30 slides, and each of them have a very good information. So stay tuned. We're gonna be discussing even more what I planned, and also I'm gonna give you a few gifts at the end of this webinar. What I need from you, I need participation, guys. Okay? If you don't understand something, if you cannot make a connection between what I'm saying and what you see, please comment, give me the questions, ask the questions. All right, so this is very, very important. All right, so let's go. We're going to be discussing 3 most important visas. They are O1 visa, EB1A visa, and EB2 NIW. And I know some of you are gonna be like, Stanislav, EB2 NIW is not a talent visa. It's a national importance, national interest waiver visa. It's true, but I do like to qualify it as a talent visa because between you and me, if you don't have even a little bit of talent for the purpose of this visa and some recognition and achievements, that's not gonna work. Okay, so I do believe that this is a subtype of the talent visa, and that's how I qualified. All right, so and I see you guys start dropping questions. Very good. Start with the questions, and so I could see what you guys interested if I wanna incorporate that in the webinar. Okay, Dineo is like, hi, we're watching from South Africa. Yes, guys, I just had a complex immigration planning with a client from South Africa. She's an actress. She's working on the television, and you know, it's funny because she's like, sometimes people come up to me like on the street and tell me, hey, it's so unusual to see you in real life. And then she goes, and I now have the same feeling because I see you, Stanislav, like in real life, not on YouTube video, not on Instagram, not like on TikTok. So you know, it's funny. Yeah, guys, and tell me where you're from. So we have South Africa, we have Paris, France, we have Cameroon, and let me tell you guys. So far, so good. We do have clients from South Africa. We're actually filing EB1A case for a businesswoman from South Africa right now, like this or next week. It's all ready. You know, it's funny. I had some clients from France a couple of years ago, like a bunch of people with business visas, but not any recent times. No recent times. France was quiet, so Sabine, I guess I pronounced it right. Yeah, maybe you're gonna be the first one for the past years from the France, and you know, I would love to get that. A lot of people from Canada though. Cameroon, absolutely, we have a client from Cameroon, at least one. London, Jose from London, UK, we have a bunch of people there. Brazil, absolutely, we have Brazil. Nigeria, Irene, very good. Let's see, Canada. All right, one more, Nigeria. Bunch of people from Nigeria, guys. Exchange the information, exchange the emails. Get connected because you have the same country and you you want to come to the States. We have a lot of clients from Nigeria. I think Nigeria is the most represented from Africa. You guys have a lot of good engineers, IT people. Very, very good. I'm very excited about Nigeria, and a lot of good stuff coming from that country for the purpose of talent visa, okay? All right, Ivan's from another guy from Nigeria. Very good. Ghana here. Wow, look at that, guys. Look at that. No one from Ghana yet. No one from Ghana. Maybe Emmanuel's gonna be the first one. All right, very good. Great geography, guys. Great geography. A lot of people from Africa, which is really good. I'm excited about Africa because it's growing, it's developing. There are some people from Europe, from Brazil. I'm from Russia, guys. I'm from Russia. I've been living in the States for almost 20 years. I'm a citizen, so I'm more American than Russian, but of course my background, I cannot change it. I love the Russian people. I hate the Russian government, so you know, it's an old story. So what you gonna learn today, guys? We're gonna learn about 3 main visas and the criteria. You're gonna understand the requirements for all the talent visas. You're gonna know which mistakes you need to avoid for the purpose of getting a good decision on your talent visa. Also, I will be giving you tips for how to proceed best in order to satisfy the USCIS criteria. And of course, Q&A session. You guys will need to drop me the questions. I see Alan has asked why not H1B. Alan, because H1B is not a talent visa. Okay? H1B is the simplest visa among pretty much any of them, because all you need for H1B is a higher education, employer, and English, and knowing and English skills. That's it. And of course, you need to win the lottery. You need to get selected. Plus, the lottery is over. So if you didn't participate in the H1B lottery in March, gone till the next year. Okay? So H1B is it does not require no talent. And nothing against you, Alan, right? I'm not saying that you're not talented, right? But H1B does not require any talent. It just requires the education. I mean, all of you or most of you have the education, so this is a simple visa. There's nothing to explain there. It's simple visa. O1, EP1A, EP2NIW, those visas need a lot of explanation. So that's why we're here today. All right, more questions, guys. I commend you for the questions that you guys ask, and you will see the more questions you ask, the more value you're gonna get out of this. Okay, because I'm gonna pay attention to that, and of course that's how I'm gonna be addressing those questions. Please, no, there is no stupid, there is no silly questions. Every question has something behind it, so drop them all and keep dropping them as we talk. So 2 gifts today, guys. 2 gifts. Gift number 1, you will receive a guide. I developed a special guide for you guys on how to get a US talent visa. All right, and with you listening to my webinar, asking me questions, getting the answers with the guide, you will be golden. Okay, you will have all the tools to understand what needs to be done or how you're going to proceed next. Okay, and number 2, you guys will learn how to get a free evaluation of your talent visa case. Okay, what is a free evaluation? You will get a chance to fill out a form, and within 2 days I will get back to you with initial analysis of your case. Okay, and it's free, and you will know if you have a potential. All right, so stay tuned, be here till the end to get those 2 gifts. And of course, basically what I need from you also, guys, is the focus. Okay, I know you guys busy. I know most of you came from work, some of you at work, some of you have kids, or something is going on. Okay, but I will need you to stay focused for the next hour and 20 minutes so we could have the best quality time together. All right, like when you go on a date with a girl, with girlfriend, boyfriend, with the wife, with the husband, you know, you want to spend quality time. Okay, you want talk about good things, important things, and get the emotions. So today that's what we're doing, guys. We are on the date. It's like a legal date, all right? So stay focused, make sure you understand what I'm saying, and make sure you are making notes, okay? Very important, because by statistics, only about 10 to 15% of the information, of the new information, gets stuck in your head. Everything else is gonna be gone, okay? So with the notes, you will be able to keep maybe 30 to 40% of the information, which is a lot, So take notes, ask questions as we go along. Alright, a few words about myself. Many of you guys know me from my YouTube channel, from my interviews with our clients, from my Instagram, from my TikTok, and a lot of you already know my style, you know my sense of humor, you know my work and the quality of my work, but still, some of you are new, so let me spend 30 seconds on explaining who I am. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm an experienced and seasoned business, immigration, and corporate attorney. I'm a founder of Shamayev Business Law, my company. We have about 100 employees in the company in 10 different departments. And since 2015, we got approval for more than 2,500 petitions that we filed for our clients from over 50 countries in the world. Okay? I'm a member of Florida State and Broward County Bar Associations. I'm also a member of Florida Courts of Appeals and the 11th Federal District Court of Appeals. Okay? It's important to know, because if we need to file an appeal on your case, and if you were claiming Florida as your future home, we can do it in the federal court. Okay? I'm also a member of AILA. A lot of you guys ask a question like, Stanislav, we didn't find you on AILA website. Are you not a member? I am a member, but AILA does not post the members on the website. Okay, so if you guys were trying to find that, that's you will not find. But also, it's not important. It's a private organization. Any attorney could or could not be a part of it. I am, because I participate, and sometimes I speak at the conferences. Sometimes I go participate. But what is more important is that I'm a licensed attorney. I have a bar license in Florida. You can find me on Florida Bar Association website by my name, and to make sure that I'm a real attorney with a real license with a real company. Okay. So this is good. So we specialize on business and investors visas, EB5, EB1C, L1, E2, on talent visas, EB1A, EB2, NIW, and O1, and work visas. And Alan, there you go, your H1B visa. We do them. They're very easy. You know, they're very easy. You have an employer, you have education, you get selected on the lottery, and that's it. That's all you need. Okay, and your employer must pay all the fees associated with the H1B. And sometimes we do EB2, EB3 with the labor certification. It's a long process, but it's all possible to do. Sabine is asking, your company offer refund conditions. I don't know exactly what you mean, Sabine. If you're saying that, like, are there any ways to get the money back, or is there a situation where you can get money back that you paid us? And the answer is yes. There is a way. First of all, you can get the almost full refund within the first 2 weeks of starting your case. Okay, and we guys give you this option to get almost a full refund within the next 2 weeks. If you start working and you're like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I like this, something happens, and we do that. And let me tell you, for almost 10 years of my practice, maybe 2 people use that option, and the reasons were because of their own problems, not that there was something wrong with us. So we give you this option, but if you're talking about the denial, there's no refund. Okay, there's no refund. First of all, we get almost no denials. Okay, why? Because we specialize on these visas. We do only these visas all day, every day. We don't take family cases. We don't take asylum cases. We don't take deportation cases. We don't take VAWA cases. None of those. These are the 3 types of work that we do. Okay, so we are really good at that. We're really good at that. Some visas get 99% approval rate. 99%, guys. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, and in the industry, for example, for EB1A, you will get 50% approval chance. Stanislav, how do you know that? Well, there's statistics. We have statistics how many cases are filed every year and how many approvals are there. So for 2022, because that's the recent year for statistics, there were about 50% approval rate for EB1A. In my company, it's 90% plus. I would say 92, 93 if you take like recent 2 years. So 90 plus for 10 years, like 92, 93 for the past 2 years. Guys, you don't get it anywhere. Okay, you don't get it anywhere. And I will give you more. I'll give you more what exactly we do for you, so you understand that it's impossible to give the refunds, even if you get a denial, because the amount of work and the number of people working on your case, that's a lot of resources. We just cannot do that. All right, but we're not talking about denials. We're talking about approvals. All right, so let me know what you guys want to know more, what kind of stuff. And we're gonna start with O1 visa. We're going really good. We're 17 minutes in. We are going just the way I want it. Let's see what you guys get to say. Ajibola, watching from Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria is #1 today. Sabine, yes, I mean money back, because during my searches I found some attorneys from refund if we go to denial. Sabine, I know that some companies offer the refund, but they're not gonna take your case. Right? And I'm not talking about you, because I don't know your case. They're gonna take a case of a scientist with 10 publications, with a dissertation, with PhD, with 10 conferences, with 2 patents, and I don't know, with some professional association. If you have all that, I'll put that in your contract, that if you get your denial, I'll give you the money back, because it's impossible to get a denial. Okay, it's impossible. So those attorneys, they will give you the money back if they take your case. But are they gonna take your case? That's the question. Okay, are they gonna give you all the resources to improve your case? Are they gonna connect you with the PR agencies? Are they gonna connect you with the business plan drafters? Are they gonna open your company? Are they gonna give you the team who is gonna lead your case? Are they gonna give you the program within the company where up to 4 independent expert opinion letters gonna be going towards your case? Are they gonna assist you to go with your case after the approval? I don't know. I don't know what they offer. I know what we offer. Okay, so we can speculate all day about the refunds and all things like that, but it all comes down to this: what kind of achievements and recognition you have, and what kind of resources the company is going to give you. We are open. We are open about our monetary policies. We are open about our denials and our approvals. We are posting a lot of interviews with our clients on YouTube. Who is doing that, guys? Ask yourself, who is other attorney who has so many reviews from real clients on YouTube? Okay, I don't know. I didn't see one. I didn't see anyone who's putting so much work in you growing and succeeding after the approval. No one's doing it. Nobody cares. Only we care. Okay, so I think that's fair to say that we are worth the money that you spend. Okay. All right. Ajibola, I can hear anything. Yes. I think you're the only one, Ajibola, and I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying. Probably something on your side, and I apologize. There is nothing I can do about it. Dineo, does one need to have published articles to get approved for EB2 and AW? Good question. I'm gonna address it. Dineo. So stay tuned. Bolan Lem, Jibola, I think it's on. Yes, yes, true. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go, guys. Let's go. O1 visa is gonna be the first one. So that's how we're gonna go. First, I'm gonna give you the advantages of O1 visa. Then I'll give you the disadvantages of O1 visa. Then I'm gonna go to EB1A, and then we're gonna be talking about the criteria, and for both O1 and EB1A. Why? Because those two visas, they have the same criteria, but the depth of those criteria is different. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on that too. Let me see, you guys have a question section. Emmanuel, I hold a PhD, but do have a national award, or I guess I do not have. I guess it's Emmanuel. I think you skipped the word not. Without a job offer, do I still stand a chance to apply for any talent visa? Absolutely, Emmanuel. Absolutely. If you have a PhD, I would assume you have a dissertation. If you have a dissertation, I would assume that you have the academic publications, because a lot of dissertations require that. And I will also assume that you worked on the research, maybe it's in university and things like that. So all of that, almost everything that I mentioned, satisfied certain criterion. Okay? So absolutely, you definitely may qualify for EB1A and for EB2 and AW. Yes, and there's a huge difference, Aurora, between EB1A and EB2 and AW, and we're going to be discussing that. And I know there's a lot of confusion, but those are absolutely different visas. Absolutely. There's nothing in common between those visas, and I'll explain why. Funcho from Nigeria, what is the average duration for processing the EB2 and AW visa? After the approval, probably a year and a half on average, depending on the visa bulletin. 2, what is the total cost for the EB2 and AW processing? Let's discuss it at the end, because I don't want to confuse you, because there's a lot of things going on. We're going to discuss the cost, I promise. Is there a flexible payment arrangement? Yes, guys, there is a flexible payment, and I promise, I'll keep the. You see, I also came prepared. I have my paper here, so I'm gonna put those questions down so I don't forget about them. So I'm putting down the cost of all those visas. And guys, we are open about the cost. We want you to hire us with the full confidence of what we do, knowing exactly how much money you're gonna spend. Okay? For me, it's very, very important. I really pay attention to this moment, because I don't want no confusion. Oh my God, Stanislav, you didn't tell me. Oh no, I don't want that. We are fully open for that. So I'm gonna talk about that at the end. All right. All right, good. Oh, there's like more questions. Kennedy from Kenya. Yes, Kenya. We don't have no one from Kenya yet. So Kennedy, maybe you're the first one. Usually do not non-skill work and advice for people like me. I guess Kennedy, you're talking about EB3 non-skill visa. It's not a topic of today's conversation, so stay tuned. Maybe O1 visa is going to be good for you. Davis, I'm surprised that you people said your work experience must be in the field of what you study. Kindly expatiate on this. Davis, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna expand on that while we talk. Wisdom, currently work remotely in tech for a firm in the US. What are my chances in between a W or any other visa? Wisdom, you will have a chance to fill out the form, because this is not enough. Just working for a company, it doesn't give me nothing. So you will be able to answer a bunch of questions at the end. I will explain what exactly I need from you, and I will give you a good analysis of what's going on with your petition. Okay. Okay, dissertation, very good. So yeah, Good questions, guys. Good questions. So let's move on. I see what where your questions are coming from. So I'm gonna address all those. Okay, Chris is asking about. Okay, oh, it's Chris is my employee. Says Tim for E2 visa. I guess she's pushing the questions. By the way, guys, if you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, still drop the questions. I have people tracking those. They're gonna pass on to the Livestorm because Livestorm is the a platform where this webinar is happening. So my team is gonna drop the questions here and I'm gonna answer them. All right. So O1 visa, guys. Let's talk about benefits. So you can work and travel freely to the US. You can bring your unmarried children below 21 years old and they can go to school for free. You can get O1 visa for initial 3-year period. Okay, 3-year period. Then you can extend by a year indefinitely. But let me tell you guys, for my long years of practicing with hundreds of O1 visas approved, maybe I extended 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2 or 3. Why I'm saying this? Because that means that overwhelming majority of those who got O1 visa got the green card. Okay, through EB1A, through EB2NIW, through labor certification. Some of you come single, get married. I cannot help with that, but yeah. So this is a good sign for you guys that if you came on O1, the bright future awaits you in the future. Okay, so this is a good first step to come to the US. O1 is granted to any category of talent: business, sports, education, science, art, and anything in between. Okay, so whatever talent, whatever recognition you have, we'll be able to use. We need to prove only 3 criteria, as much as for EB1A, okay, but I want 5. Guys, I want 5 criteria and I know exactly how you're gonna satisfy all 5. Many of you already have 2, some of you may have 3 or even more without knowing it. Okay, without knowing it. So O1 visa is really, it's the simplest visa among the ones that we're gonna discuss today. I'll be honest with you, we got approvals for O1 visas, the cases that, to put it mildly, are not very strong. Okay, not to say that I take cases that I'm not confident about. Never. I'll never take a case where I don't see how I'm gonna get approval for this case. Okay, but sometimes the clients don't fulfill my full strategy that I offer at the beginning of the case. So that could make the case a little weaker than I expected, but still we get approvals. So in other words, O1 is really easy to get and there is no cap. H1B visa, there is a cap of 85,000, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, and there is a lottery. O1 has no lottery, has no cap, and as many of you who will get it, you will have no limitation. All right, so the slide says it's a dual intent visa. It's not pure dual intent visa as like H1B or L1. It's not pure dual intent, but it has some parts of the dual intent. That's why we can switch from O1 to EB1A or from O1 to EB2NIW depending how you chose to develop your career in the US. Okay, so O1 is a great visa. So those are the advantages. Okay, so 3 years you can bring your family, your wife and your husband and your kids. You can switch from O1 to immigrant visa. You can extend your O1 visa. There is no limitation. So, and it's kind of easy to get. It's easy to get. And let's talk about disadvantages of O1 visa. Guys, there is only one. I'm a firm believer there's only one disadvantage of O1 visa is that your spouse will not be able to work. Yes, he or she will be able to open a company and organize business and get the dividends and maybe go to school. Yes, but not like official work. So I believe that this is the biggest disadvantage. For some of you it doesn't matter, for some of you it does matter. Okay, so you need to understand how big this disadvantage to you. And Sabine, I'm going to discuss the you call it conditions. I guess you mean the criteria, right? I think that's what you mean. So I'm going to discuss the criteria for O1 alongside with EB1A because they are the same. Okay, because they are the same. And guys, keep giving me the questions. I'm not gonna jump back and forth. I'm gonna pause at certain time, go over your questions, answer them, then get back to the webinar. Okay, so let's finish with O1 and EB1A, and then I'll get to your questions. All right, so keep giving me the questions. All right, so EB1A, employment-based immigrant visa for extraordinary abilities. And guys, let me tell you, O1 visa and EB1A visa, they constitute about 60 to 65% of my practice. Okay, so more than half of the petitions that we file, and we file about 30 cases a month. Okay, 30 cases a month. So do your math, how many we file a year and how many, what's the proportion in cases? 65%. Okay, a lot of cases, a lot of cases. Actually, last year we filed about 400 cases, about 400, and more than 92% of those cases got approved. So we have a specialty in that. All right, so guys, I'm not gonna discuss the benefits of EB1A and EB2NW. Why? Because this is a green card. Okay, Stanislav, I got approval for EB1A visa. When will I get my green card? You kind of got your green card. Okay, immigrant visa is equal to green card. If you go through the embassy, you get your passport stamped with the immigrant visa, and when you cross the border with your passport to the US, that's when you activate your green card. Okay, they're gonna give you the temporary 1 year green card stamp in your passport. It's like this blue stamp. It's called Form I-551. That's it. And your 10-year green card is going to arrive in the mail within a couple of months of you arriving. All right. So, and guys, you all know what green card means. That means you're resident. You can work and travel and study and get loans and get credit history going and get access to medicine, to education. Your kids could go to get the scholarships and the government loans, all this goodness. Okay, all this good stuff. So, and of course, in 5 years, you will be getting your passport. So, I mean, that's good enough to understand what you're gonna get for the green card. And I will add one thing. If you have a family, let's say you have a family of 4, okay, a husband, a wife, and 2 kids, okay. So once we get an approval for EB1A or EB2NW for one of those people, usually for husband or wife, I mean almost always for husband or wife, everybody's gonna get the green card. Okay, so it's not that we need to file 4 different cases. We need to file one for the family, and then in the embassy, all 4 of you are gonna pop up, and all of you are gonna get the green cards, and all of you are gonna come with the green cards to the US. All right, and this process is completely taken care of in my company because I have a department, a separate department in a corporation that does the communication with the embassies. Okay, it's called Department of Embassy Communication. All right, so what it means that they lead your case after we got the approval. Okay, so they help you with everything else. So yeah, a green card for everybody. So now we're gonna go through all the requirements for O1/EB1A. Okay, why? Because they're the same. Yes, O1 has 8 criteria, EB1A has 10 criteria, but we're gonna discuss only 8 because the 2 extra for EB1A only goes to the art. Okay, so if any of you is in the art, you're an artist, you're a musician, you're a singer, you're a ballerine, whatever. If you're in a model, or you do the coloring of the hair, if you're barber, that's art. So you need to know that you have 2 extra criteria, which is great. But we're not going to discuss them because it's a narrow issue, and we don't want to waste our time. Okay, so let's go, guys. So first of all, we need the minimum of 3 criteria for both O1 and EB1A. Okay, minimum 3 criteria out of the 8 and 10. And by the way, there's O1B. I don't wanna blow your minds, guys. There's O1B. That's for the art, also for movie and art, for the non-immigrant visa. It has 6 criteria. We're not gonna discuss that. Okay. Again, very narrow. But if you're from art or movies or theater, that kind of stuff, remember, you're not O1A, you're O1B. And for EB1A, you have 2 more criteria. Okay, just for your educational purposes. So we need to satisfy 3 criteria, but I want 5 for O1 and 6 for EB1A. Why? Because all those things are very subjective. So what's good for us may not be good for the immigration officer, and vice versa. Okay, so because we don't want to risk your money, time, stress, and your future, we don't want to bet all those things on the 3 criteria. We want to get as many as possible. So how many? 6 for EB1A, 5 for O1. So it's 5 plus, 6 plus. If we have more, no problem. Okay. If we have less, Stanislav, if I have only 4 for O1 and 5 for EB1A, will you take my case? It depends how deep are those criteria. Okay, I have approval with 4 for O1 and 5 criteria for EB1A, but those are really good cases. All right, really good, strong cases when I'm confident. But if it's a normal case, average case, which are the majority, I want more. Okay, so let's go, guys. And now I need you to make notes, because I'm gonna explain what each criterion means, and also I'm gonna explain what kind of evidence we need to provide in order to satisfy those criteria. And before we proceed, one last but not least thing. It's very important to understand that for the purpose of talent visas, we have 2 major things going on in the case. Number 1, we must have recognition and achievements. But number 2, not too many people understand, a lot of people do not understand, that each of those achievements and recognitions need to be described. Stanislav, I have all the paperwork, I have all the criteria, I'm ready to file my case. Let's file tomorrow. It does not work that way, guys. It does not work that way. When I hear someone says that I have the full case ready to be filed, for me it means maybe 5% of the case is ready. 5%, not 50, not 30, not even 20, not even 10, 5%. So yes, we have achievements and recognition. Now we're gonna spend 5 months describing them. That's why we have such a huge rate of approval of our petition, because we know how to describe those criteria. Okay? And even some attorneys don't know, guys, with all my due respect. Even some attorneys don't know how to do that. We do know. So let's go. Explanation of the criteria, explanation how to describe it. Okay? So you know what's going on. Number one, awards. So the classic way of what award is when you go to the competition and you compete with other professionals, and there's a professional juror who is making a determination who won. So you don't have to have the first place. You can have any prize, the first, the second, the third, Grand Prix, whatever that is, but it needs to be some prize winning place. Okay? And it's very important to know that such an award, such a competition must have at least a national recognition. Okay? So if it's in your country, let's say it's in Nigeria, it cannot be the regional competition. It must be the competition where all Nigerians can participate. Or even if it's not from all the country, but all country recognizes the competition. Okay? So that's the simplest way to get an award. How many awards do you need? I think one is the minimum. But the more the better. Okay? But one good award could be enough to satisfy completely this criterion. Now, how do we describe your award? So, and now you guys need to take notes, all right? Put it down. You need to explain why this award has national recognition. How to do that? Well, the more of the following we have, the better. So number one, it's a prestigious organization who organizes this competition, or it's a government. Government is the best. Number two, we have I want to see this happening once a year, maybe twice a year. Okay? So the less time it happens for within a period of time, I would say a year, the better. So once a year is the best. Okay? The longer this competition existed, the better. If they have good sponsors, like big companies sponsoring the event, the better. If they have the press, it's great. If there's a press coverage of this event. If there is a professional expert jurors, okay? Like let's say it's a business competition and we have just famous celebrities making the judgment who won. It's not very good. It's not very good because the jurors are not professionals, you know? Like maybe they bring a famous star, a famous barber, a famous sportsman, like athlete. Come on, it's a business competition, so we need to have a professional juror, okay? So those are the main ones. So you must have a letter from those who organized this event describing all those things, including how many people participated, what were the criteria to choose the winners, maybe even describing who were the past winners, okay? Who are those people? So all this information needs to be a part of this letter from the organizers, on the professional, with the logo, with everything. So that must be part of the description document. Okay? And of course, pictures and if you have an invite to become a competitor in this competition, all additional evidence showing that you won, that you got the prize, whatever. So it all comes in a case. What are the alternatives to the award? Okay, because I described you only the classic understanding of what an award is, but there are alternatives. What are they? Number 2 alternative, if you speak at the conference and you have the publication of whatever you delivered at the conference, that could be an award. Okay? So speaking at the conference with the publication, that's an award. Sometimes the level of the conference is really big, like it could be like huge national, the most important in the industry, or even international, and the fact itself that you participated as a speaker at that conference could be an award, but it must be really big. Okay? Number 3, your dissertation. If you have a dissertation from distinguished university, okay, R1 or R2 level, that could be an award. Or if you have additional recognition for your dissertation, that also could be an award. Then, number 4, the government medals and government recognition. Okay, if they give you like a medal or some kind of sign or something from the government for contribution and whatever, that also is an award. All right, and last but not least is if you're in a business, the investment of $100,000 in your startup, in your idea, could be an award. And also if you sell your business for a big sum of money, like for $1 million, for a couple of $1 million, that could be an award. Okay, so there are a couple of other ways where we can satisfy this criterion, and I kind of listed all of them. Okay, all right, let's move on. Number 2, media coverage about you and your projects and your achievements. Okay, 2 important things. Number 1, which media should publish the articles about you? So it must be either national media, which has national coverage. And how do we know if it's a national media? Well, the visitation on the website, and usually it's a website, right? I don't see like the newspapers. Usually it's a website. So the unique visitors per month should be about 15% of the population of your country. Okay? And it's not black and white. There's more to this. There's like we need to compare it to other newspapers or the websites, and the charts, the recognition by other media, and things like that. Okay, how long has this newspaper existed for? And there's a bunch of other things. But a starting point is about 15% of the readers of the population of your country. Okay, so this is a good starting point. And number 2 option, it's in the professional press. Professional press. How do we know if the press is professional? Very easy. Who is the reader of this newspaper? If the reader is from the industry, from a doctor, a business person, IT person, the beauty industry person, whatever. Okay, like I'm not gonna read that newspaper or that website, and only people from the industry. Okay, and the content of that media is all about that industry. Okay, so it could be like business finance, it could be IT, it could be engineering, it could be the startups, whatever, the fashion, you name it. Okay, so we don't care about how many people read those websites or newspaper. We only care who is the reader. Okay, so that's number 1. Where are those articles published? Number 2, the format the format of the article. So it should be all about you. Okay, it cannot be just your opinion, your expert opinion, or it cannot be you mentioned in this article in 2 paragraphs. No, the whole thing should be about you. Okay, about you and your projects. Usually it's an interview. All right. So and what are the requirements for the article itself? You guys need to put it down. Okay. Number 1, there must be a title to the article, so the name. Number 2, there must be a date when the article was published. And number 3, most important, there must be the author, the journalist name. Okay, John Smith. There must be the name. Not by editor, not by editorial board, not by whoever it is. It must be a name. Okay, very important. A lot of times this information is missing. So title, date, and the name of the author. The article is all about you and your project, and it's published in the national press or in the professional press. Okay, and you need to describe each article and each newspaper or the website to prove that it's national or professional. Okay, and we have a template how to do that. So Stanislav, how many articles do you need? For the purpose of EB1A, I want 4 to 5. For the purpose of O1, I want 3 to 4 articles about you and your work. Stanislav, do you have contacts of PR agencies who can help you to find a journalist who will be interested in publishing the article about me? Yes, yes. We have the contacts of PR agencies who can help you with this criterion. Okay, so there's no worry here. Okay, let's move on. Number 3, published scientific or academic articles. And guys, don't mix these two. Okay, don't mix these two. So media, press is about you. The scientific academic articles are our articles. We write them. When I say we, I mean you. Okay? So media is about us. Articles is that what we do. Okay? And let me tell you, I know that the law says they could be published in major media and professional magazines. Guys, this doesn't work. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. They want scientific or academic articles, okay? In indexed publications, in indexed magazines, scientific magazines, okay? Don't bother drafting your professional expert opinions even in major art newspapers and things like that. It's not gonna fly. It's just not gonna. They don't take it. Okay. Yes, it's gonna add to your case, but do not rely on them to satisfy the scientific articles. It's almost impossible. Okay. Maybe it's better for O1, for the purpose O1, but not for the purpose of EB1A. Okay. Stanislav, how many articles do you want? I would say for EB1A about 4, for O1 about 3. Okay, and you guys need to put it down. Also, we have companies who help our clients to expedite the process of scientific publications. Okay, we have resources to give them to you so you could expedite your publications. Okay, because all of you can do this, but it's gonna take you a year. It's possible to do within 2-3 months. Okay, so keep that in mind. And of course, each publication, each scientific or academic journal, they need to be described. How long it's been in existence, what are the requirements, do they have editorial board, do they ask for additional stuff for publications and things like that. Okay, you need to describe them and prove that they indexed journals. Number 4, your critical or leading role in organizations with distinguished reputation. Okay? So we need to prove two things: that the company where you worked sometime in the past or the company where you work right now has a distinguished reputation. How can we prove that? So, and again, there is no like recipe for that, but there are a bunch of factors that we consider. How long this company existed? Okay, the longer the better. How many people work in this company? The more the better. Who are the clients of the company? The bigger companies are the clients, the better. Do they have awards for the company? Do they have press coverage for the company? And other things. That do they sponsor events? Okay, do they sponsor those awards, the competitions that we mentioned in the number 1 criterion? Okay, so the more of these factors we have, the better. Okay, if they have the thank you letters from the government, this is a really good indication that they have a reputation. Okay, and of course the online presence, the reviews, the social media, we also use that to prove the reputation. Okay, so that's number 1. Usually it's not very hard to prove a reputation of the company, so it's not a biggie, but we need to do that. And number 2, leading or critical role. What's the difference? Well, critical role, if you've done something important for the company, your functions were important, okay, and you achieved something through those functions, that's the critical role. Leading role is when you direct and control the company or a part of the company. Okay, so you see the difference: critical and leading role. Now, what we need to show for the purpose of proving that you had a role? Well, this is kind of easy. We need to measure your contribution within that company. And the best measure of your contribution are actually 2 things. There are 2 things. Number 1, if you made the money for the company, or number 2, if you saved the money for the company. So the best measure of your role is how much your money made or how much of the money you saved. Okay? So, for example, let's say you're an IT person. So your functions were working on the new product of the company, and you successfully put that code in the platform, a new product, and it was launched, and the company started making 20% more money than before this product. Okay? So is it a critical role? Absolutely. Absolutely. You made 20% more, or you were a part of the project that made 20% more increase in the company for the profit. And how do we prove your critical and leading role? Only one way to prove it, guys. A letter from the company that describes in detail what exactly your functions were, what have you done, and what you achieved, what the company achieved through your work. Who can sign your letter? Who can sign this letter? The best one who can sign is your direct manager, your direct supervisor, okay? If not, it could be anybody in the from the people who direct and control the company. It could be HR of the company, or it could be anyone from C position, CEO, CTO, CFO, and so on, CMO, anybody from C position, executives, okay? So pretty much anybody above you can sign the letter, or HR department, if there is one, All right, so Stanislav, how many critical leading roles you want in the petition? I want 1 for O1 and I want 2 for EB1A. Okay? And again, I'm telling you within each criterion how many of those things I want, but remember, we need 6 for EB1A and we need 5 for O1. So you choose. If you choose awards, media, articles, critical role, and contribution in the field, and you want to go for O1, then you just remember what I've said, how much of each you need within each criterion. Like 1 award, 4 media, 3 scientific articles, 2 critical roles, and maybe 1 contribution in the field. We're going to talk about it right now, okay? So you need to remember both, so not to get confused. Before we go to the last 4 criteria, guys, recommendation letters. And when you hear recommendation letter, you should understand that it's not a letter where someone says, hey, let's say Owura or Dineo or Sabine are great people. I worked with them. They're just cool, no problem, doing the work. That's not what a recommendation letter is. It could be a part of it, but it's not what it is. What is it, Stanislav? A recommendation letter is the expert opinion letter. So we have an expert who has his or her own achievements in your industry and enough understanding, education, skills, projects, and knowledge to assess your talent. That's what recommendation letter is. And of course, within that expert opinion letter, they can recommend you for approval of your visa. Okay? And yes, and I know some of you like, oh my God, I had like 8 recommendation letters, but they're nothing. What are you talking about? Yes, they need to be redone. They need to be redone. That's why, guys, you need to have an attorney and the team who's going to help you with the case. It's almost impossible to do on your own, okay? And I need 15 recommendation letters for the purpose of O1, EB1, and EB2 and IW, okay? 15 recommendation letters. And I will tell you more about a NEO program. We have a NEO program within the company where up to 4 best of the best independent expert opinion letters you can get within my company. Okay? How it works? Because we have at each moment about 250 cases going on, we split them in categories. Okay? IT, business, sport, engineer, whatever, right? And we have a lot of people of the same professions. So what we do is that we connect you with other talented people and you guys exchange independent, very important word. You don't know each other. And that's why those letters have the most weight in your case. Okay? And you both experts. And you both have opinions on the cases of each other. So that's why expert opinion letter. Okay? Guys, no one is doing this for you. Trust me. No other company in the world have neither resources nor desire to do this for you. We do this in the company. Okay? Up to 4 letters. That's a lot. If you want to order that letter outside of our company, it will cost you $1,500, $1,500 for one. So the value of 4 letters is $6,000. Do your math. All right, let's move on. Judging the work of other professionals. So this one is close to the competition, right? So in the first criterion, you compete with people and you try to win. Here, you're the one who is the judge and assess the work of other who is competing. All right? Oftentimes, you participate in a hackathon, for example, for IT people, and you win, and the next year they say, hey, let's see, hey, Sharanya, Shiva, you want to be a juror for the next year? And guys, your answer is yes. Of course I want to be a juror for the next year. Of course I want to be. So, and how to describe your juror duty, your participating, same thing as an award. So we need to describe the competition, who those people, who is competing, how many, from which countries, who are the jurors, by what criteria they assess everything. So it's a letter from organizers who are going to describe the whole thing, what's going on, how they organize it, the past events and everything else, and describe what your duties were and how did you assess other competitors. Okay? People who participants, not competitors, participants. Okay, so that's kind of easy. This is an easy criterion. almost 95% of the petitions have it, but it's the most flexible criterion, guys, and let me explain. So there are alternatives how we can satisfy it. Because I know some of you are like, oh my god, I've never participated as a judge. Yes, but most of you will not participate. We're going to satisfy it differently. How? If you, within your career, in the past work, in the current work, if anyone ever asked you to review, to assess the work of other professionals in your field, that is the judging of the work of others. For example, you work in a company and you are, let's say you are in the marketing, okay? You're marketing director, okay? And the company brings you the work of other marketing specialists for assessment within the company or outside of the company. It doesn't really matter. And you look, let's say, at the marketing strategy that somebody did, and you say, hey, I think this is wrong. I think you should change this. I think you should exclude this and add that, and that is going to be good. So you are assessing the work of other marketing people. Okay? Same thing with engineering, with business. If you do business consulting and people come to you, hey, can you help me to grow your business? You come to the business, you assess, you make the conclusions, you make the suggestions. So not only you played a critical role in that company, but you also assess the work of other business professionals. Okay? If you're a doctor and other doctors in your hospital come to you and say, can you give us the second opinion on our diagnosis? And you're like, sure. And you look at the test, at everything that the blood test, the whatever, the X-rays, and you say, hey, I think this is right or this is wrong. You are the judging the work of others. All right? So guys, I need you mentally to go back and remember if you've done it in the past. And I'm sure 95% of you are gonna say yes. 95% of you are gonna say yes. If you're a professional in your field. Somehow, somewhere you've done it in the past. How are we gonna prove it? A letter from that organization that asked you to do those things. That's it. Also, if you're in a science and you review the publications, you peer review the publications of other scientists. This is a judging the work of others. If you are on editorial boards, if you are on exam commissions in the university and you take the final exams above bachelor's, in master's and Ph.D, whatever, this is the assessing the work of others. Okay? If you choose which publication is going to be published, or if you choose who is going to speak at the conference, you are assessing the work of others. So guys, I gave you lots of examples because it's the most flexible criterion in the world, okay? So many of you are gonna satisfy this. Let's move on. Contribution to the industry, I think, is the best criterion if you have one. So in other words, if you have contribution in the field, that makes the case very, very strong. So what we need to, and by the way, it says contribution to the industry. This is wrong. This is wrong. It's not to the industry. It's in the industry. Okay? For those of you guys who speak English as the first language, you know immediately the difference. To the industry is to the whole thing, right? You like, you change the world, right? That's not what we need to prove. To contribution in the industry, somewhere in, which may affect somewhere in the industry, but not to the whole thing, okay? Huge difference. So two things we need to prove. the significance of your the significance of your contribution, and the originality, the original. Your contribution must be original. So significant and original. Original is easy. Usually whatever you do is something new, okay? But significance, this is the hard part. So what are the examples of what could be the contribution in the industry? I already mentioned dissertation. So your dissertation could be a contribution in the industry. Your academic publication with a lot of citations. How much is a lot? Probably 30 plus, we can make an argument, but anything above 100 citations is probably a good fit. The courses, educational courses, could be contribution in the field. The people that you educated somehow, somewhere, and they achieved something in the industry, could be contribution in the field. Your patents, your open source codes, your open source libraries, sometimes speaking at the conferences if you bring up some good issues that make difference in the industry. A book could be contribution in the field. Algorithm, methodology, approach could be contribution in the field. Okay? How do we prove? How do we prove the contribution, the significance of it? Expert opinion letters, guys. Expert opinion letters is number one proof. Also, the money that you make on the contribution. A lot of time you can monetize your contribution, your courses, your patent, the license, selling of the book and things like that. That's a way to show the significance. Also, when the press mentions your contribution, is really, really good. Okay, press. Also, if you write about your contribution in your own articles, of course, scientific academic articles, that could be contribution. Okay, so the more of that we have, the better for this case. How many contributions should we have? At least one. Give me at least one. That's already. I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. If you have more, and some of you have more, that's good. All right, let's move on. Associations, the rarest criterion for EB1A or O1. I see it rarely. Not because there are no associations. There are, but they just don't fit. They don't suit to the immigration laws. Okay? Why? Because the charter of associations, the bylaws, must say that the members must be admitted for outstanding achievements, or some rephrasing of that. Okay, I saw some associations just listing, okay, you must have 5 publications, 2 conferences, this, or make this much money if it's for business, and some of them list, and we can say, hey, they don't say outstanding, but that's what they want is kind of outstanding. Okay, so either they list what exactly they want and it should be outstanding, or they say outstanding achievement in the charter or bylaws, so somewhere in writing. That's number one. You guys now you guys understand why it's so hard, because no one says that in the charter. But number two, those who make decision to accept you in the organization must be experts of the national level. Okay, so recognize experts. We're not going to spend much time here because, like I said, if there is one, I'm happy. Usually there is none. Okay, so don't worry about it. And the last one, guys, the commercial success. So what is it? 2 things to prove this criterion. Number one, your salary is significantly more than similar professionals in your field in your geographical location or where the company is located. Okay, very important, because we're not comparing with US, with the world, with your country. We're basically comparing in your city, okay, where you live, in your town, in your city, in your village, whatever. Okay, it's important. Stanislav, how much is significantly more? How much is significantly more? By law, 20 to 30% is when we can start making arguments, but I want to see twice as much or more. Okay, let's say similar professions, you're an architect, in your let's say in Paris, they make, I don't know, $2,000, 2,000 euros a month. If you bring me like 4,000 euros your salary, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very good. Number two, oh, and by the way, you guys must pay taxes. And I know some of you don't like taxes, but we have to show to USCIS that you pay taxes. Okay. And number two, if it's not a salary, then if you work on a contract, like consulting contract or a project contract, it's a little bit harder, but still we can prove it if we can show that the amount of money being paid to you for your contract is significantly more than average contract for the same work. Okay, it's a little more complicated, but it's possible. Okay, so, and you also have to pay taxes on that. All right, so those are 8 criteria, guys. Let me repeat. We need 3. I want 6 for EB1A or 5 for O1. Let me give you the average petition that we file for EB1A or O1. So O1, critical role, salary, press, academic articles, and judging the work of others. Standard O1 petition, 1 or 2 judging the work of others, 1 or 2 critical roles, 3 for press articles about us, and 3 academic articles. That's it. And by the way, guys, I didn't mention that, but it's very important because O1 requires the employer. So you must have an American company wanting you to work for them who's going to sign the petition. The reason why I forgot, and because it's important but not as important, because you yourself can become your own employer. And trust me, guys, I have dozens and dozens cases like this when we register the company for you in the States on your name, and that company became your employer, and it's a startup. There is no employees, no taxes, no cash flow, nothing. Okay? And it's legal, it's absolutely legal, and we've done it many, many times. So with O1, we need to add one more step, a company that's your employer. And then you can work with other companies as an independent contractor, or you can work for one company through your company, okay? Or we can even change your employer in case you want to, no problem. Okay, so that's your O1, 5 criteria. And of course, if you have awards, but you don't have judging the work of others, no problem. We can exchange, substitute. Or if you have contribution in the field, no problem. Okay, so that's normal. For EB1A, it's 1 award, 2 judging the work of others, 2 occurrences or 2 competitions, 5 press articles about you. You work with the PR agencies. 2 critical roles, salary, and 4 academic articles. Okay, if you have a contribution, you can substitute any of those prior ones. Okay, contribution in the field. So this is the average petition. Of course, each of you individual, and you guys will fill out the free evaluation forms. I will talk about them later, and I'll let you know what exactly going on. Okay, guys, let's move on. Let's see. You guys have a lot of questions, so let me go one by one and see what's happening. Okay, hi Stanislav, for E2 visa, which options has a better chance of approval? Buying existing operating business or buying a franchise and starting new business? All of them have equal chances of approval. No difference. Sharanya Shiva from YouTube. Hi, I spoke to your colleague for about an O1B visa, and he said that we would qualify for an EB1A visa. Well, not here. I probably look at your petition, at your free evaluation form, and we have a very strong portfolio for it. There is a long wait for Indians for EB1A right now. If it's approved, would we also get a work permit with which we can move and start working while we wait? No, Sharanya. So It's my colleagues, they passed on the information. Okay, they don't advise you, they don't assess your things. They're messengers. Okay, so if they said that, that means I said that. Okay, so that's important to understand. And yes, it's a long wait. I think it's it's March 2020 for Indians for EB1A, which is about 4 years wait. But hey, it's much less than EB2 or EB3, which are like 12 years. Okay, so and it doesn't give you any benefits. So you need to wait for your visa becoming available, and then you can get a work permit and things like that if you're in the US. Okay, and I know it's sad, but that's what's going on. Dineo, does the green card come with citizenship, or does one have to apply for citizenship a few years after? Should one be granted a J1 visa, would be able to waive the 2-year home country return rule while waiting for EB2 NIW outcome? Yes, it's possible to waive. There's a form for that. To get the citizenship, you need to live 5 years in the US, and no, you need to be 5 years on the green card with 2.5 years out of the 5 living in the US. Okay, so 2 conditions: 5 years on the green card. It's actually 4 years and 9 months to be exact, and 2.5 years out of those living in the US. Owura, in the criteria for O1 and EB1A is the same. Are the criteria the same? Yes. Why would people go for O1? Because Owura, the depth of O1 is much shallower. Okay, it's much easier. So let's put it in a different way. If you have case for EB1A, you will definitely get approved for O1. Okay, but if you have O1 case, it doesn't mean that you automatically have EB1A case, because the evidentiary base is very different. Okay, and that's why I was telling you how many of everything we need for the purpose of O1 and EB1A. Okay, very good questions, by the way, guys. Very good questions. And sometimes people choose O1 for the speed. And by the way, going back to Sharanya, get your O1B visa with your employer. Come to the States. Start working. We will refile your case for EB1A, and you just wait in the States. No problem. There you go. That's the way to go with the O1 visa. Sharanya, is it better to move to the US with the O1 visa? And there you go, guys. You see? Connection, guys. Connection. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Sharanya, you got it. If my EB1 gig gets approved, how soon after do I have to enter the US? Is there a specific timeline? So, yeah, you have a timeline with 4 years wait because you're Indian. But once you get the stamp in the passport, if you don't go the O1 way visa, then you have 6 months to enter the US. So your immigrant visa after the embassy is for 6 months. So you need to cross the border and activate. Okay, let's move on. Good questions, guys. Since there is an abundance of green cards in the fiscal year, it could be for EB1. Is there a good time to file for the EB1A for better chances of approval in a particular time period? Yes, Sharanya, you probably checking my checking my knowledge on my own videos, because I have videos on my YouTube actually addressing this issue. The best time to file for EB1 and EB1 only, EB1A, EB1B, EB1C, is September of any year. September of any year, because of the fiscal year. I have a video about that, guys. If you want to know more, watch it. Should I wait for... No, you don't. If you have a strong case, you don't need to wait, guys. You don't need to wait, because strong case is going to be approved any month of the year. But if you want to have a little better chance, we need to file in September, meaning that you need to start in March to file in September. Okay. Yes, EB2NIW, I'm going to talk about it. We're going to finish on that. Is there a long wait if EB1A is approved? Owura, because you're from Nigeria, no, 9 months for you, 9 months. Do social media posts and LinkedIn posts mentioning your contributions count as articles? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. But good question. Okay, let's have questions from Q from the bubble, from Q questions bubble. Is there a backlog for the O1 visa or WURA? No, WURA. There is none, no backlog. As many as we get approved, as many as you guys are gonna come here. I am a HND holder. Did I have any chance to apply for talent or work visa? Oluwarotimi. My dear friend, I have no idea what's HND. So if you could give me a better explanation, what is it? I may guess, but you will need to fill out the free evaluation form. Soon, guys, we'll spend a little more time. I said hour and a half, but because you guys active, we'll spend a little more time, maybe another 15 minutes. I'll give you the forms to fill out and I'll give you your chances. I'm now seeing that I could actually be eligible for EB1A or WURA. That's the purpose of my webinars. I was initially only looking at EB2 and AW. Guys, nothing makes me more happy than comments like this, because that's the purpose of this whole thing. And I bet many of you like, oh my god, I didn't think about this criterion. Thank you, Stanislav. Guys, give me the feedback, because I love when you give me feedback, because I feel I bring the value. How long does it take to get an EB1 visa? 6 months. 6 months, Awura. Of getting approved, and then 9 months for the embassy. Would project management professional PMP be seen as association? Yes. Yes. I think I'm not sure about PMP, because there are a bunch of them, but I have maybe 10 EB1As for project managers in my career, and we used, that's one of the associations with the certification that we used for this profession. Rare, but it's possible. By the way, if you guys in IT, the IAAA is the senior, starting with the senior level is a good association. So I'll give you the heads up. Does EB1A require an employer? No, neither EB1A nor EB2 and AW require the employer. Awura, they're very good question, and those are two exceptions. That's why we're talking about those visas, because you guys don't have to be dependent on anybody else, only on you. So only those two visas give you full control over your future. And Awura says, I'm from Netherlands. Awura, I apologize, because your name, maybe you have a background of from Nigeria or from African country. No problem, no problem. Dutch people, we have a few Dutch people in the company. Ajibola, I filed the questionnaire on EB2 but did not get any response on WhatsApp. Usually it takes two days for me to get those things done. So please wait for two days and then write to the WhatsApp, hey guys, what's going on? Because sometimes we have more people than I can analyze. So let me know, Ajibola, when did you do this? Let me know, please. Okay, one more question, guys, and let's move on to EB2 and AW. Please do you offer a tailor-made solutions to individual clients? You are top-notch, Funsho. Absolutely. We have different levels of offers. How you guys can hire us, and we have offers for those of you who have a bigger budget. So you should. And if you do those like upper offers, you of course spend less time on your papers. And let me tell you guys, you're gonna be the first ones to know in the English speaking segment that coming soon, probably within 1 maximum 2 months, 2 months, we're gonna start offering the turnkey petition. Okay, turnkey petition, meaning that you do not write a single descriptive document in your petition. We do the whole work, but with one covenant, very important covenant. And pay attention, guys, pay attention. We don't make up your petition. We don't fantasize, we don't make up things, we don't do something that doesn't exist. You provide the information and we do the work, okay? So it's still a synergy, but you don't write none of those paperwork. You write the information, or you can do the audio, okay? So that's coming up. We've been doing the pilot projects for this type of turnkey petition since October of last year. We are ready to launch it, okay? It's not gonna be cheap, guys. It's not gonna be cheap, okay? So it's only for those of you who have a lot of a better budget, okay? A higher budget. If you had to ask me how much the turnkey for EB1A or EB2 NW gonna be, I would tell you not less than $20,000, okay? And I know some of you say, oh, it's too much. No problem, we still have good prices where you more involved in the case, no problem. But for those of you who want, you'll have an option. Okay, guys, expert opinion letters program only in my company, in the whole universe. In the whole universe, you go to Mars, you go to Venus, doesn't exist. Only in my company. Up to 4 good letters within the company. Let's keep that, guys. Let's keep the cases. I wanted to talk more about the cases, right? And you see, and I mentioned Cameroon, Brazil, you see those things. We don't have time. Let's move to EB2NW. You can screenshot, take a picture on your phone if you want to read about those cases, no problem, but we're not going to spend too much time. Also, two more, so just for your educational purposes, EB2NW. Straight to the criteria. Straight to the criteria. You guys know that EB2NW, I don't want to say only. I don't want to confuse you. Not only for STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, okay? But most of my cases are in STEM and business, okay? And I had cases in sport, EB2NW, culture. We had those cases. And sometimes they come up, but most of you who are going to be doing EB2NW, you guys will go by STEM, okay? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So the prerequisite criteria, either education or exceptional abilities, okay? And there's a mistake. It says extraordinary abilities. No, extraordinary abilities is in the EB1A. Here, exceptional abilities, a little bit lower level of proof. So if it's education, it's either bachelor's and 5 years of work in your specialty. So you have bachelor in cybersecurity, you need to work 5 years in cybersecurity. Or master's degree, no experience needed. Or if you don't have education, we need to prove 3 criteria out of the 7 criteria to establish that you have exceptional ability, okay? And those are prerequisite. So once we have that, we need to move to your endeavor, okay? Endeavor, I like to call it a project, because like endeavor, I think, like, let me tell you guys, there is no translation of endeavor to the Russian language, because I speak Russian, okay? And there is no translation, like there is no equivalent. And like I need to say 10 words in Russian to explain what endeavor means in English, okay? So I like the project because I think some other languages don't have equivalent, so it's a little harder. So think about it as a project, like what exactly you're gonna be doing here in the US, okay? And that project must do 2 things. Number 1, you must resolve some problem in your industry, okay? You must resolve some problem. And the resolution of this problem must be in the national importance of the US government. All right, so two things must happen, and I'll give you the examples. Don't worry. Now, the question is, Stanislav, where do I get that proposed projects? And by the way, guys, very important. Proposed endeavor, proposed project is the proper way. So your project doesn't have to exist. Your endeavor does not have to exist. If it exists, good. It makes your case stronger. But it's an idea. It's an idea, okay? So you propose, US government, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. And that's the problem I'm going to be resolving. And that's why it's important to the government, okay? Where do I get that proposed idea, that project? Guys, look back in your career, what you've been doing past 5 years. What are you actually doing right now? What you've been doing today in the morning? What kind of work in your industry? And see if you can take what you do and propose doing the same thing in the US, and if it resolves any problem, okay? Stanislav, how do I know if it resolves any problem? How do I know it's a national importance? You need to look at the White House policies, USCIS policies, the publications, expert opinions in the US, the press, what kind of problems they're talking about, okay? And if you have if you can help to resolve those things, there you go, okay? So that's how you guys find your project, your proposed project, and why it's important to the US. And the last thing that we need to prove for EB2 and RW is you're well positioned. Well positioned. What it means that you've done something similar in the past, and that's why you need to look in the past for those projects, because not only you'll find them there, but also you'll be able to prove that because you've done them in the past, you'll be able to do it in the future. Okay? So that's basically, guys, no one in the world can explain EB2 and RW, break it down more than I break it down for you. And let me tell you, I break it down not the way the law says it, but the way it actually works in the battlefield. Okay? Because if you read the law, you'll be like, oh my god, Stanislav, what this means, what that means, what... I already broke it down for you so it's easy to understand, okay? So if you're like, oh my god, I didn't hear like something from the law, don't worry about it, guys, don't worry about it. Just listen to what I say, put it down, and go by that, because that's already easy for you to understand. So let's go with examples. So two cases, one for business, one for engineer, okay? Engineer, the guy has been working on the production for like 15 years. He's a mechanical engineer, and he was doing the optimization of the processes. So he would look at the process and see where he makes things better, or automate the process, or optimize the process, or modernize the process, okay? So that he's been doing all his life, and we registered the LLC for him as a consulting services, and his proposed project was going to the US productions and offering them the consulting services for optimization of the control systems. That's it. That's all, guys. So if you thought you need to propose like, oh my god, like change the world or fly to Mars, not even close. Yes, we have like cases of, you guys know Leonardo Rojas from Venezuela. He's dealing with the satellites and all this craziness. You can watch his review on YouTube on his case. I mean, yes, we have like very complicated cases, but overwhelming majority, I mean, they're just good professionals in the field. And you're gonna be doing the same thing that you've been doing in the past, but in the future, okay? Here in the US, and get a green card for that. I mean, this is just amazing. And the second example is the businesswoman from Russia. She built her business in Russia selling flowers. So she had a bunch of flower shops. She was specializing on peonies. Okay, peonies is the type of the flower. And she came to the US. She opened up a shop in Los Angeles. Then it started working very well. Then she opened up the shop in Miami. Then people started approaching her for franchising. And there we go. Her proposed project is her own spots with peonies and franchising on her business, which is economical interest, economic impact, work, jobs, taxes, and things like that. And we got her approved, guys. We got her approved. So also very good case. So if you're in a business and you start growing, you can also get the EB2NIW. And let me give you a few more examples. We just got an approval for a top manager in a construction company who is producing the innovation of how to build the base for the buildings with the new technology. Okay, so he's introducing the new technology for the construction companies in the US. Okay. We also had the recent EB2NIW for the guy from Belarus. He's an engineer. He's a mechanical engineer who is doing the artificial hands and legs. I forgot the prosthesis. I forgot the word in English. So he's in this industry. Got him approved like these guys. So a bunch of very good cases. Oh, the fresh case, the guy who built a drone that could be used civilly and for military purposes. You guys know with all this craziness with the war between Russia and Ukraine, you all see how the use of those drones, civilly and military. So if you guys in drones or artificial intelligence or agriculture, those are the top industries. Cybersecurity also, top things. All right, so let me guys give you the gifts for those of you who stay till the end, and I see a lot of you guys stay till the end, and this is good for me because I know I give you value. So first of all, take a screenshot or picture of QR code. That's how you can contact my company directly. Okay, direct contact, so you can ask questions. You didn't get something, this and that. Now, the first gift, guys, free evaluation of your cases. So either take a picture and just scan the QR code, and you can do all of them, and mostly O1, EB1A one side and EB2NIW the other side. So you will get to the questionnaire, to the form. You need to fill them out, and within 2 days I will get back to you with the free analysis of your case, and I will tell you which program is good for you, which is not, which criteria we satisfy, and if I see the potential in your case. What is the potential? Potential means that we can build your petition within next 6 months and get you approved. Okay, that's the potential. So if I see the potential, I will invite you to the complex immigration planning, where I will build a written strategy in your case, a written winning strategy. Okay, so free evaluation, complex immigration planning, then going with my team and my company to work on your case for the next 6 months. Do it right now, guys. Don't wait till the weekend. Don't wait till the green card lottery. Just do it right now. Now, the guide for you guys, for those the talents of you. All right, scan the QR code or take a screenshot, scan it from a different device, and you'll get a guide. Download it right now. Also, Will, if you could drop the links to the free evaluation and also to the guide, so maybe some people cannot scan, so you could get the links. And let's finish up with your questions, guys. And by the way, all our social media, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, X, on your screen. So subscribe if you have not. And let's finish up with your questions, guys. Let's finish up with your questions. Let's talk about the cost, because you guys asked me about the cost. So I'll be short. The non-immigrant visas like O1, E2, and others, the complete filing of the petition is 11,000. Okay, 11,000. And immigrant petitions, EB1A and EB2 and AW, we charge 13,000. Okay, and we have 3 payments. One payment when you sign the contract, about 40% of the contract. The second payment on the 3rd month of working with the team, also 40%, actually about 38% to be exact. And the rest is at the 6th month. Okay, so split 11,000 or 13,000 and those 3 payments, and that's how we're gonna go. All right. That's in short. We have different levels of payments, of offers, and we have higher prices for more services. Okay, it's too much time to describe, but if you contact my company, we're gonna tell you all the information. Okay, Owura, can you give an example in the field of wind energy industry? Owura, if you're talking about EB2 and AW, absolutely. Anything that you've done for the wind energy, if you're designing those things, if you work on the optimization of energy consumption, of energy distribution, if you do the design, if you write the software, anything that could be EB2 and AW. Let me tell you, green energy sector, really good in EB2 and AWs. Sabine, we need to prove that we pay taxes for high salary on EB2 and AW. No, you don't have to. You may, but you don't have to. Alphonse, is it possible to have a project in a different field? I worked in the last 5 years. Yes, you mean different from your education? Absolutely. It's possible. Better to have 10 years of work, to have 10 years, because we're probably gonna go with exceptional ability. It's possible, but a bunch of factors. I need more information, Alphonse. So fill out the free evaluation. Fill out. Owura, I would like to build offshore wind farms in the US, both fixed platforms as floating platforms. Would this be a possible endeavor? Yes, if you have funding for this. Okay, if you have funding, yes, it could be your own endeavor. If you don't have the funding, I would make it as a consulting company for those companies who want to build those wind farms. You get it? Don't worry, you get my hint. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go. No money, consulting. Yes, money, the business itself. Funcho, please come again with the QR codes. Okay, I thought I was kind of slow, but yeah, I think Will sent the links. But here's the one for the guide. This one for the guide. Let me give you 5 seconds. And this one for the free evaluation. I also will give you 5 seconds, but also will send the links. Okay, so in case you can click the link, Funcho, you can click the link in the chat, and it's the same thing. Okay, Raphael, thank you for this great meeting. Thank you, Raphael. It was a pleasure having you here. Raul, within cybersecurity, is evaluating cybersecurity of other companies be considering as judging? Absolutely, Raul, absolutely. Ajibola, I'm electrical engineer. I love electrical engineers. Guys, we have a lot. My wife is electrical engineer here in the States. So I have a lot of emotional connection and physical connection to electrical engineers. So yes, absolutely, it's a great profession. Huge demand. Guys, huge demand for any type of engineers in the US, especially electrical engineers. And have a license to practice in my own country. Will the EB2 visa be good for me? EB2 in AW, absolutely. EB1A and EB2 in AW, absolutely. Okay, a few more questions from the bubble. Okay, Ajibola, I did since middle of March. Okay, Ajibola, I'll send your information to the department. Okay, I'll take care of that. Thank you for the feedback. Sometimes, you know, technical issues, things can happen. Rafael, I have sent a follow-up message for EB2 visa a few days ago and still don't get a response. Okay, Rafael, I'll take care of that soon. And I apologize, guys. Sometimes, like, mostly technical issues, because we had things with the CRM system, and WhatsApp disconnected and then came back online, and we lost a bunch of data. Okay, so that could be the issue. And I really apologize. That's not our fault. Wura, I was looking at this because I'm in STEM all my life. The issue is the backlog after approval. It's one. Wura, if you were from India, your backlog is 12 years. Okay, so 1 year and a half on the scale of your life and the life of your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren is nothing. Okay? It's nothing. You will be the one who your children and great-children remembering as a Columbus, the first person who came to America, and they will put like a statue to you. Okay? So 1.5 years is nothing. All right? So disregard that. Go for it. Nagati, I'm a Canadian licensed pharmacist. Very good. With 19 years of experience and a pharmacy owner. What is my chances and where do we fit excluding EB5 visa? EB2 in AW is probably the way for you. And Nagati, we just have a fresh review from a lot of hard names for me, but from Indian citizen who got EB1A. He was also in pharmaceutical business. We got him EB1A, so you can see his review on my YouTube channel, and also EB2 and AW. So both EB1A and EB2 and AW could be good for you. All right. Owura, how do I get the form? I want US to go. Yes, Owura, you have all the links in the chat. So if you go in a chat, all the links for the forums are there. Wisdom, I'm a product designer working remotely for a firm in the US from Nigeria. Okay, Wisdom, that's not enough. That's not enough. I need more information. Fill out the free questionnaire. And Rafael, I'm an early childhood educator with over 7 years experience. Where can I apply to? Sounds more like EB2 and AW. EB2 and AW, but also try talent visa. Rafael, also try EB1A or 1. Also, I see the potential there. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. A few more questions. Owura, do I have a form for EB1A? Will, send another form, please. Send another one, put in big letters, talent visa, EB1A, a free evaluation, because people are missing out on the form, so please do. Wisdom, yes, Wisdom, fill out a free evaluation. Samson, I'm a materials science engineer with BS. Will EB2 and AW be a good category for me? Absolutely, absolutely. If you have 5 years experience in that, Samson, yes, but also EB1A. EB1A. A lot of you guys underappreciate, you underscore EB1A. Do both. I'll give you an evaluation for both. Ajibola yes, Ajibola, I took care of that. Kushan, what is the backlog for EB2 and EB1C from Canada? About 1 year and 2 months. 1 year and 2 months. But you need to look not at the country of your citizenship, but at the country of your birth. Okay, so let's say you could be from India, Indian born, but you are a Canadian citizen. They're still going to be looking at your country of origin. Funcho, please, I had network with QR for the last time. Yes. Okay, so look, guys, instead of QR codes, you can press on the links. So Funcho, just below your question, the first link to EB1A01, and Will is gonna send you additional link for EB2 and AW. Okay, so you can use both, but for those of you guys who missed it, there you go, no problem. Just take a screenshot or just scan it immediately and start answering the questions. Okay, start answering the questions. So Will is gonna drop one more for EB2 and AW. You can use either QR code or the link in the chat section. Okay. All right, guys. Last question. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I need to get my lunch. Kushan, electrical engineer, 10+ years of work experience with master's degree, WES, ECA evaluation. What are the chances for EB2 and AW? Kushan, that's not enough. You need to tell me what's your proposed endeavor, because you have all the qualifications, but I need to know what you can propose. I can see the consultancy services for electrical engineering companies. That's good enough, but fill out the free evaluation form for EB2 and AW right below your question, and EB1A link right above your question, and then I'll give you a better analysis. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for the great questions. Thank you for the great participation. I really enjoyed it. We spent more time than I planned, but it's good. I gave you a lot of value. So free evaluation, complex immigration planning, and then working with my team, guys. Thank you very much. I love all of you. Have a great weekend. And I am Stanislav Shamayev, a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.